Hi everyone, it's Amanda. It's 22nd of August 2018. That's right, Master Number Day. I'm actually just going through files and I'm having to do some filing and sort my workspace out because until I've created some space, I can't bring in the new stuff. So it's a day of just sorting through things. But that's not what I wanted to talk to you about. Because I've been going through things today, I've been coming across emails and letters that have been sent in to me over the years, including one that's literally just come in overnight from somebody that was taking my distance course in July and being attuned to the Archangel Metatron energy. And she's come in with a story of connection to him, which she wanted me to know about, and I'm really pleased to hear about it. But she was also saying that it came in after a moment of real frustration, in terms of, why can't I see you? Why can't I hear you? Where are you? And then he showed himself in a particular way. And it reminded me of a few things, actually. It reminded me of how important it is when we're trying to connect with spirit, whether that's Archangel Metatron, any of the archangels, the ascended masters, source energy itself, how important it is to surrender and to take the pressure off ourselves. Because if you put pressure on yourself to have the experience, whatever the experience is for you, whether you're expecting to see the angels standing there right in front of you, whether you're expecting to hear them, whether you're expecting to feel them, if you put too much pressure on yourself in terms of it has to be a particular way, 9.5 times out of 10, Spirit will say, oh, okay, he or she is trying to control it. Are they? And they will show you something else. I'll give you an example of that. Roll back to 2007, I think it was, 2007. So over 10 years ago, 11 years ago, I was attuned to the Archangel Metatron energy myself by a lady called Pippa Merrivale, whose courses I did, and then I went on and developed my own system from that. But anyway, the day of my attunement to Metatron came, and we were asked to... Did you just see what the light just did then? Wasn't that lovely? I hope that came out in the video. From darkness to light. Yeah, okay, Metatron, thank you. The day of my attunement came, and we were asked to lie down on the floor to receive the energy. And it was literally just about receiving the energy. I'm sure Pippa said words or whatever, I don't know, can't remember now. But what I do remember is laying down without any particular expectation of what was going to happen, hoping something would, but having no idea really what was going to happen, being there more out of interest than anything. And this wave of energy swept in over me, through me, underneath me, above me, below me, effectively pinned me to the ground, but in a good way. My body was so heavy I wouldn't be able to lift an arm or a leg even if I'd wanted to. I was transfixed to the spot. And this wave of energy, which was loving, heavy, but equally light at the same time, weird, was Metatron. And I got up from that experience. I think probably I was lying down for about 40 minutes. And whereas before I had felt I believed that angels were real, archangels were real, I woke up and I wasn't asleep, but I got up and I knew. And I've always remembered that moment. And it was unexpected. I wasn't expecting it to happen in that way. The same workshop, somebody else was present. No idea who this woman was. Don't remember her name, didn't know her. And at the end of the 2-day workshop, I remember I was driving off, waving goodbye, thanking people. And there was one lady who had stayed behind who was in floods of tears. And she was in floods of tears because she hadn't seen what she wanted to see that weekend. She'd wanted to see Metatron. She'd had a fixed idea in her head that the third eye was going to open in such a way that he would reveal himself, be there in some shape or form, and she hadn't got what she thought was going to happen. And of course, nothing had been done wrong in the workshop. And she hadn't really done anything wrong either. It was more that it was, I mean, I've no idea who this person was, but it was really, I can see now it was about learning for her that she'd put too much pressure on herself. She'd wanted it so badly that she blocked it. It's a bit like looking for love. If you go into a desperate state in terms of, where are they? Where is he? Where is she? Are they turning up today? You block it. Love has always arrived in my life at the most unexpected times. Often when I've actually just thought, oh, to hell with it. I don't want a man. And then one turns up, It's the truth, isn't it? When we let go of expectation, whether it's something physical or spiritual, it tends to come through a lot easier. So I think that's something that I was meant to just say today. What else, Metatron? What else am I supposed to say here? I'm going to bring the white light in. Oh yeah, thank you. He's reminded me of another story he wants me to tell you. He's wanting me to talk about the fact that as small children, because we've come from spirit and we have a remembering of sort, by the time you get older, you've sort of forgotten what it feels like to have come from true light and true love. You might remember it in dream state, in astral state, but day to day it gets harder to remember what it was to really have felt that union with the Creator, with light, with the archangels and the ascended masters. Children, they just know. And certainly my kids, when they were younger, I remember doing healing on one of them. She saw all the lights on the ceiling. She saw the rays coming through the ceiling. To her, it was natural. Oh, the orange ray's arriving now, Mum. Oh, now the blue, now the green. Both of my children have saw spirit when they were younger. I think one of them still does. But what often happens is, and I'm talking about us now, we may have seen that. We may have sensed it in some shape or form. And often we get told, don't be so stupid. Of course you didn't. There's nothing to worry about. Don't worry about it. There's no ghosts, there's no angels, there's no this. Whereas actually the spirit realm is very close with kids. A lovely story that I have in my back catalogue of stories belongs to a friend of mine whose father sadly died a couple of weeks before her son was born. So the boy never knew his grandfather. And years later, when the child was, 7, 8, something like that, they were going through some photograph albums and he came across a photograph of this man and he said, "Who's that?" And she said, "That's your grandfather." But it was when he was maybe a lot younger or, not looking like he was in other photographs that might have been around the home. I don't even know if there were other photographs around the home, but certainly of an age which he'd never seen before. He said, "Who's that?" "It's your grandfather." He said, "That's the man that comes and stands at the end of my bed every night." And the mum just broke down in tears because it was like, she couldn't believe it. I can believe it. It's sort of how it works. But yet as an adult, we live in fear, actually, a lot of the time, of seeing spirit, even though we're asking for it. I've said before in workshops that I've had experiences in my life. I remember maybe not that long ago, 5 years ago, waking up in the bedroom over there. I was on my own and there was a figure standing at my bed with a hood. It was Mother Mary, actually. But I nearly had a heart attack. I was so frightened because I wasn't expecting to see it when I woke up. I hadn't asked for it. She was just standing there. She probably stands there most nights watching over me because she's one of my protectors. But that night I woke up in a startle, and I think she was startled because she didn't realise I was about to open my eyes. And I just put the duvet over my head. It's like, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. What that does is it says to spirit, you're not ready. And there's nothing wrong with not being ready either. But what you then have to do, if you have shut down your own ability to see, is you have to say to spirit, I'm ready now. I'm ready now to see. But you can also add the proviso, but please can you show me in a way that isn't going to frighten me, that isn't going to startle me, that I'm okay with. I've had a few emails in recently from people who are saying, and this is common, it's happened again to me, and it's happened to a lot of people I know, when you wake up in the middle of the night, and I've had things like TVs turn themselves on. My mother, bless her heart, has had a stereo turn itself on at full volume in the middle of the night. Well, we're laughing, but actually it's not very funny when you're on your own in the middle of, you're on your own basically, and these things happen at 2 o'clock in the morning. It is spirit's way of getting attention. And I always say to people, talk to the spirit. Tell it that you don't like that. Please, can you give me a sign during waking hours? You can do that because you have a relationship with spirit. And if you're surrounding yourself with white light, with protection, you're always asking for the highest level of light, love and support to be around you, you're not going to attract in anything negative anyway. So I'm going to hit that one on the head straight away because I can feel otherwise I'm going to get all those questions coming in. What I'm talking about here is communicating with loving spirit, with light, with the angels, the archangels, with Christ, with all of them. Anything else to say, Metatron, on this video? Yeah, just don't put yourself under pressure to hear and see straight away. It takes patience. Yes, I'm going to do a longer video on channeling and my view on channeling and what I believe. I said on a Facebook post recently that certainly my relationship with Metatron now is so second nature to me because he's always around, that we're often finishing off each other's sentences because I believe in an alignment between spirit and physical, that in attunement you come into alignment with another energy, be it Metatron, be it Reiki, be it anything else that you're working with that is loving, and that you merge, you become one. It's not that I don't believe, it's just that it's not the way that I work in terms of feeling that I have to be taken over by Metatron. I have to surrender my identity as Amanda and just become this empty vessel through which he can talk. I believe that with Metatron as an example, he chooses the people he wishes to work with, and there are many of us. I am not the only person, many of us. But he chooses the ones that he knows his energy can mesh with. In the same way that you may be a channel or you may be a healer for Archangel Michael's energy or Mother Mary's energy or anything else. We all are aligned to different vibrational energies and matches. But there is this union, this beautiful union that is both you and what you are channeling, what you are healing, or what you are connecting with. Yes, so I think that's what I wanted to say today. Shall I end just by pulling a card? Because I feel like I want to. And there's a deck of cards sitting here. Mystical, Oracle, Shamanic deck, I think. I can't move my camera or it's all going to collapse. Let's just have a message from Spirit. We've been talking about connecting to Spirit. Should we have a message from them? And let's ask Archangel Metatron for a message. He's saying, I'm always around you. I'm always here. Even if you can't hear me, Even if you can't see me, even if you can't feel me, I am here. In fact, to be perfectly honest with you, the people that tend to go through my courses, a lot of the time they will say to me, oh, I never realised that was Metatron, that feeling, that energy. I never realised that was him, because he's been there right from the word dot. He's been there through all your incarnations. And he's been with you every day through this life. So, yeah, it's like a second nature. Metatron, 1, please. I'm going to take that one. That's an interesting one to pick for today, but it makes sense to me. It's the Sweat Lodge. And the other card that came with it was the Sun. There's a lot coming up at the moment, isn't there? There's a lot coming up politically. It's getting hot in America. There's a lot coming up in our own lives. Posted something today on Facebook about throat chakra, the need to release. What is sweat? Sweat is when we release not just water from our body, but toxins, impurities, heat, energy, sweat, the needing to release what no longer serves. The purpose of this video has actually been about how do you connect to spirit. Shall we maybe ask if we can release through our pores, through our skin, this sense that of fear, of inadequacy, that we can't do it? It's like if you go into a sauna. I love having a sauna. Have you ever thought about going into a sauna and doing it with intention? Same thing that happens in a sweat lodge. You go into a sweat lodge, and I've never actually I it, to be honest. I might be doing it in Canada because I'm going to a powwow. But my belief is that somebody would be in the sweat lodge, facilitating the process, telling you what's happening. You go in with an intention. What are you releasing? So most of us haven't got a sweat lodge at the end of our garden. I certainly haven't. I've got a sauna I could go to at my health club, but I've also got a hot bath I could get into tonight. And I could get in with intention. Or I could sit out in the sun with intention, not burning my skin, but just having a few moments today to think about asking, I release all of these beliefs that I cannot access the light. What is the sun? The sun is light. We're being asked to release these fears. What's the one on the top of the pack? Sacrifice. Yeah, that's relevant as well, guys, because again, think back to all of the past lives you've had where you have had, what's that book? Is it Sweat the Hard Stuff or something like that? You've had to really work for it, You've had to work for spiritual connection. And this is where the church, of course, comes in. You are not able to connect to Christ, is what they would say. It has to come through the preacher. It has to come through the vicar. They are the anointed one that can lay their hands onto you, that can tell you what God thinks. There is a hierarchy within church, within institution. And you're not able to do it. Well, hello. Yes, you are. Absolutely, yes, you are. Let's stand up and be counted and realise that absolutely we can. It's our own fears that are holding us back. These days of sacrifice, of sweat, of old churchy stuff are gone. Well, they're not gone, because actually, that's a whole other video. There's all sorts of different parallel realities on our planet at the moment, and we're all trying to peacefully coexist with each other. That's another huge topic. Come to that another day. So the church thing absolutely is alive and well for people that want to do it that way. I want to say that want to do it the hard way. But you can have a direct connection with spirit yourself, a direct connection with Metatron. But going back to the first point of this video, you need to surrender control, you need to have some patience, and you need to let go of the pressure. And then the magic happens. So That's it for today. Speak soon. Bye-bye for now.